What's up, guys? I got one here from Insolent Audits. When modern women mention divorce papers, completely backfires. Let's get into it.
Here's why women regret divorce more than men. Financially speaking, women's lives get worse after the divorce, while men's get better. The standard of living for women goes down an average of 27%, while the standard of living for men goes up 10%. So you can see why women may feel that their lives get worse after divorce because their standards of living go down while their ex-husband's standard of living goes up.
Well, here's why women regret divorce more, because their lifestyle goes down the drain faster than their TikTok follower count. And men, many will go through financial hell and fight to see their kids. The few that get to the other side relatively easily just get better. Like fine wine, or in this case, like a dude finally unchained from alimony hell. Women's standards of living drop 27% post-divorce, while men rises by 10%. Shocking. When you're the whole boss babe routine is propped up by a dude paying all the bills, what do you expect when the support beam gets ripped out from underneath you? You want the princess treatment? Cool. But don't act surprised when King Midas takes his gold back after you run off with the kingdom's keys. Meanwhile, men, yeah, we're free, 10% richer and 100% happier. Divorce for men is like shedding a 27% tax on bad decisions, but most cases you end up losing half your assets, money, and kids.
I'm divorced. I thought I'd be happier, except the judge set the child support amount at $326 a month. $326 a month for 2 kids for child support is what he has to pay me. $326 a month. Because he's not working. Because he chooses not to. I was able to cross-examine him, which was fun. And I asked him how many hours a week he spends working or trying to sell houses, because technically he still has a real estate license, so technically he's still a realtor. He said 15 hours a week approximately is how many hours he works per week. Grown man, grown able-bodied man with transportation and no childcare to worry about, says he works 15 hours a week.
So $326 a month for child support. Now, I know we're all supposed to feel bad for her because her ex-husband isn't pulling his weight, but let's be real here. If this guy is so lazy that he's clocking in a whopping 15 hours a week, who's really winning here? That man has found a life hack every grind culture influencer can only dream of, and yet she's mad he's not breaking his back for her child support payday. Hey, sweetheart, maybe instead of cross-examining him, you should cross-examine why you chose a guy who's working less than a college student with a hangover. If men are expected to work 60 hours a week to fund a broke system, then what's $326? The price of freedom from your endless nagging? This is what equality looks like. He gets the couch and you get the bill. Deal with it.
The court notified me that my final decree of divorce has been approved by the judge. I know that it sucks being alone. I come home and I'm alone. I go everywhere alone. I don't hardly talk to him anymore. I don't blame him. I filed for the divorce. So I'm sure people are wondering, well, you filed. Why are you so upset? Why are you crying? Just because you make a decision that you think is going to end up making things better doesn't mean that you have to give up the fact that you love that person or that you did it because you were trying or whatever. I've never met anybody like him, and I've never loved anybody like him either, but I don't want a divorce. I still am very much in love with my husband.
Well, cry me a river. You filed for divorce and now you're shocked you're alone. Seriously. That's like setting your house on fire and being surprised it burns down. Oh, I'm still in love with my husband. Really? Because you loved him so much you handed him divorce papers like they were a Hallmark card? But here's the brutal truth. You don't get to blow up your marriage and then sob when the explosion takes out your social life. And let's face it, nobody cares about you I miss him tears. You had a man who loved you and you traded him for what? Some fantasy you were happier without him and now you're alone? Guess what? That's what you signed up for.
When my girls were young, I got a divorce, and I was actually chatting with a girlfriend about the experience last night and my regrets of not being able to give my girls that stable, perfect family life that everybody dreams about. And there were a lot of things I did wrong. But one of the things I did right was I manned up and I got my shit together and I worked my tail off and I dedicated my life to those girls and moved them from country to country until we found our stability. We spent a lot of time with my friends, both male and female, people that I trusted, people that I wanted them to look up to, and most of them are still in their lives today. While I know they probably felt pain and maybe still do feel pain over their parents no longer being together, I hope that those dance parties in the living room, the walks to school, the solo trips together, the opening gifts on their birthday, specially picked out for them by mom, them watching me work and be independent and struggle and do all the things that moms need to do in order to survive. I hope all of those experiences far outweigh any pain that they may have felt. So to all those single moms out there, remember that your strength and your tenacity will far outweigh any pain that may linger in regards to your failed relationship. You've totally got this.
The single mom sob story with, but I did it for the kids punchline. It's like, look, lady, dragging your kids across the globe in a never-ending quest for stability isn't the flex you're thinking it is. So I'm assuming that the father is just completely out of the picture, because I don't know if any court would let you take your kids globetrotting from country to country and not have their father around to be able to see them. You wanted a medal because you worked so hard. Congratulations, called being a parent. You think your struggle outweighs the pain you caused your kids by splitting up the family? I mean, get real. No amount of dance parties or empowerment speeches is going to erase the fact that you broke their home. Let's stop pretending that the single motherhood is some heroic journey. It's a mess you created, and your kids are left cleaning up the emotional wreckage.
You're the one initiating divorce, but you feel guilty as hell because he's a good guy. There isn't any big reason. He didn't cheat on you. He didn't steal from you. He's not beating you. He's a good guy, and you feel like shit because you know you need to divorce. You know you're not happy, and it's the right thing. But yeah, it's keeping you from actually pulling the trigger because you feel so guilty. I want to talk about this again. I talk about this a lot, and I just feel as though I need to keep reinforcing this message because I know that you need to hear this. You are not doing anything wrong by asking for a divorce. You are not doing anything wrong by saying, my happiness lies in a different path. But what you are doing is you are doing the right thing. Brene Brown says, clear is kind. And if you stay because you feel guilty, you are not being clear and you are not being kind. Not only are you robbing yourself of a chance at happiness, but you're robbing him at his chance for happiness too. Because by staying, even though you want to leave, you are misleading him and you're keeping him from finding the happy, healthy relationship that he deserves as well. So don't kid yourself that by staying, you're doing the kind thing, because you're in your heart, you're not there, you're not committed anymore, you're not in love anymore. It's time for you to go. So number one, you're not doing anything wrong. So that the guilt you're feeling is actually not guilt, okay? Because guilt means you're doing something wrong, but you're not doing something wrong. And therefore, it's not guilt you're feeling. It's the discomfort of making a choice that you know is going to be hard for somebody else. And it's the choice that he doesn't want. It's the discomfort of making a choice that is in alignment with your truth and with your values and what you know is right for you. You're uncomfortable about that because you know that it's going to be hard for him. Okay? So reframe it from guilt to discomfort. That's going to help you get out of that trap. And number two, remind yourself that clear is kind. And when you are clear with yourself and you're clear with him, that is the kindest thing to do. Doesn't mean it's easy, but it is the kindest thing you can do.
Hey, baby, this lady says I could just walk away and divorce you and not be guilty about it. So now we're reframing guilt as discomfort. Bravo. What's next? Reframing lies as alternate facts. Look, you could spout all this clear as kind bullshit that you want, but the truth is you're dumping a good man because you're bored. Plain and simple. He didn't cheat, didn't beat you, didn't rob you, but you still feel entitled to torture a relationship in the name of finding yourself. Oh yeah, baby, I have to go find myself, so we're getting a divorce. Well, guess what? You're not a martyr, and your truth is a glorified midlife crisis. Let's not pretend this is kindness. This is selfishness wrapped in pop psychology buzzwords. Clear is kind? No, clear is cruel when it means telling a good man he's no longer worth your time. But hey, at least you'll be able to find yourself in an empty apartment, right? At the end of the day, modern divorce is a social and financial meat grinder for both sexes, but men often come out the other side fucked. Some come out stronger, leaner, meaner, and ready to build without the shackles of a dysfunctional marriage. Meanwhile, women sold on the fairy tale that divorce will somehow lead them to greener pastures wake up to find that the grass is dead and their wallets are empty. 27% poorer. Ouch. That's the price of independence, I guess. And let's not even start on the government, which has incentivized the entire mess with laws that favor emotional whims over stable families. Family courts, they don't care about the truth, only about signing a paycheck. Child support, that leave men bankrupt and women disillusioned. If you're a man in this society, understand that divorce isn't the end. It's the beginning of your second act to get your life back, make more money, build a better version of yourself. As for women, well, maybe think twice before trading in your husband for a fantasy that leaves you crying in your empty bed at night. But really, stop believing the lie that divorce equals happiness. Build stronger families. Stop buying into government-backed fairy tales. And for the love of God, if you're going to leave, at least admit you're doing it for yourself and not some imagined moral high ground. Anyways, guys, that's the end of the video here. If you like what you've seen today, hit that like button, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. It definitely helps out the channel. Leave me a comment down below what you guys think, your experiences, and all that good stuff, because it'll help out somebody else who might be looking maybe for some guidance. And I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.